Welcome back to another episode. I am Sticks. This is my co-host and best friend D-Lo, and we are part of my wisdom. Man, talk about some topics today. But first of all, of course, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, give us all the support and the love that we did that we definitely look forward to. And we're gonna get right into it, man. So, Lo, what we got today, man? What's the topics for today?
Absolutely, man. Like you said, a lot of good topics to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Ime Udoka scandal that's going on in Boston right now. John Wall opens up about the struggles he's had over the last 3 years, dealing with his injuries and other unfortunate incidents that have happened. And last, we're going to talk about Steph Curry signing a lifetime contract with Under Armour. So, yeah.
Yeah, man, we got some good stuff for you today. But before we do all that, man, how was your week, man? I know we talk every Sunday, but how was your week this week, man, leading up to today?
Man, this week has been crazy. I realized towards the middle of the week that I'm gonna have to get my pockets together for next year because Beyonce talking about she gonna have a tour, and my wife is a major Beyonce fan, and we're gonna have to
Oh
be
man,
at floor seats. This is gonna have to
get the
be
wallet ready, boy.
get the pockets ready. The beehive is about to kill me. You know what I'm
The
saying?
beehive
So
about to run in them
about
joints.
about to sting me. Died by 1,000 stings.
Death
You
by
know
a
what I'm
thousand
saying?
stings,
You
boy.
know what I'm saying? But yeah, it definitely has been a good week though. Again, today was a great day. Got some time with the kids. We went to a pumpkin patch, so
Oh, that's dope.
everything was well. How about you, man? What was this week like for you and yours?
Man, the week was cool, man. I mean, luckily, I ain't got to worry about the beehive. You know what I'm saying? I'm a
You
single
think?
man out here in these streets.
Yeah, you think
Yeah, all
somebody
right.
gonna get you?
Yeah, all right. They'll be a lucky one to
Well, look,
pull
no,
that off.
okay, but
But
it's a
look,
good experience though. It is so
no, I
I
already
did
know.
actually go. I actually did get a chance to go a couple years ago. Me and my wife, we went to the On the Run 2, and it was a
Hmm.
good experience. I'm not even gonna hold you on that. It was a good experience. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
Jay-Z was there too. I don't think Jay-Z is gonna be a part of this
Yeah,
tour.
nah, it's gonna be just the beehive up in that
Yeah.
joint now this time. But nah, the week was good, man. Had a good week selling cars. Probably one of the better weeks I had since I've been here, honestly.
Hmm.
But of course, the weekend comes. Got little mama with me, got Sam with me, and we always have a good time. I'm teaching her how to cook gradually. So these
Okay.
last couple of weeks, we've been cooking different dishes that she said she wanted to try to cook, and I've been trying to show her, how to season and this, that, the third. So we've been gradually learning how to cook. So these past couple of weeks have been fun as far as getting in the kitchen with her. It's been a good time. Of course,
Okay.
we do our normal Sunday brunch and normal Sunday, get together and we just kind of, talk about different things and have a good time on Sunday. So it's always a good time on the weekends with the little mama. But my week has been good. Sunday's been good, and everything's dope, man. Everything's dope.
Bet. So let's get right into it, man. You know how
Let's
we
do
do.
it
Get right
already.
into it. So we're gonna start out with the Ime Udoka, and we practiced saying his name. I don't know how many times, and I feel like I still said it wrong. But anyway, so
No
late
disrespect to
Wednesday.
you, bro. No
No
disrespect to you.
disrespect to you, man, but
Yeah,
maybe
facts.
disrespect you for what you're doing. But
Maybe,
anyway,
maybe.
but anyway, yo. So late Wednesday evening, reports came out of Boston that the Boston Celtics would be suspending their head coach Ime Udoka for a full season
Mhm.
due to a consensual relationship with a woman staffer.
Keyword
Keyword,
consensual. Okay.
keyword,
Hmm.
keyword. And I mean, you already went there, so I'm gonna go there. That's the thing that makes this whole situation kind of make you scratch your head. But
For
anyway,
sure.
let's get into some of the logistics of what actually we know about this whole situation
Hmm.
right now before we give our takes on it. So, as I mentioned, Wednesday, the Boston Celtics mentioned that they were going to suspend Ime Udoka for the full season due to a consensual relationship that he was having with a staffer. The Celtics knew about this or have known about this for about 2-3 months now, which caused them to hire a outside law firm to do an investigation of the situation, where they found that multiple team policies have been broken.
Hmm.
Um, Again, as I mentioned, the team have known about this for a couple of months, and they decided to, from there, suspend Ime for a full year.
Mhm.
We also know that nobody else will be disciplined in this interaction as well, just him. That's odd.
That's
Um,
odd. Facts.
but but also, lastly, Ime was thinking about resigning because of this, and
Mhm.
would then ultimately decided not to do it.
Right.
So, Sticks, how you feel about this situation?
It's a sticky situation, man. It's one of those things where you know, like we said, consensual is the main word.
Mm-hmm.
Which consensual means to me, it was agreed upon by both parties that were within this relationship. He made his advances, she made his advances. They came together, did whatever they did, and went about their business. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about the consensual that's messing me up is whenever they say that he's the only one that's going to be disciplined. And if they both did the same thing and broke the same rules, then why are they both not getting in trouble? It's
Exactly, and that
just
yep,
Udoka. Like it's
yep.
crazy. So it's like, and I don't know if you watched a couple of the which you probably did, where with Malika Andrews was talking to
Mm-hmm.
Pert and talking to Stephen A.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got this whole feminist attitude about her, and she's going at Kendra Perkins, and she's going at Stephen A. Smith, and heavily defending these women, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got nothing against the women. You know what I'm saying? But the points that Kendra Perkins and Stephen A. Smith were trying to make was, if you gonna put Udoka on Front Street for everybody to see, like, hey, he did this, he was having this, he was cheating on his wife, Nia Long, with his staffer, and doing all,
Not his
having this
wife though.
consensual
That
relationship.
that's the
Well,
thing.
fiance,
Yeah, yeah,
true,
yeah,
fiance,
yeah.
true.
Mm-hmm.
But he was cheating on Nia Long with having this consensual relationship with this woman. Why is he the
Mm-hmm.
only one being blasted? If
Mm-hmm.
this woman is also with the organization and she did the same thing he did, why is her name not out? Which is another reason why the media and social media and everybody in the world are speculating who it was. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So there's a couple of names that popped out, which I'm gonna let you talk about. But it's like, hold them accountable too. Where's the accountability for the women in the situation where the man is the only one being put on Front Street? What you think?
Yeah, so first off, I don't know. I didn't dig into the names or anything like that. I didn't think it was fair.
It's
It
a
would have
couple
been
of them,
right. It would have been irresponsible of me, and I feel like of us to make those speculations, and we don't have anything
which I didn't
solid.
speculate at all. But yeah,
Right,
you're right.
right. We don't
Yeah.
have anything solid. But honestly, this whole thing since it came out has been a like head scratcher.
Hmm.
Mainly for a lot of the reasons that you mentioned. If there were team rules, team policies that were broken on both parties, I can understand him maybe get him being suspended longer because he is the coach of the team.
Hmm.
Whether or not that person sits directly under him or not, no pun intended, but sits directly under him as not in the in the organization.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah,
That was
that was
funny.
bad on me. That
That
was
was
bad on
funny.
my
Nah,
behalf.
but
But
that was hilarious though.
yeah,
That's
whether
funny.
the person sits directly underneath him in the organization or not, they probably should have gotten some type of reprimand as well.
Hmm.
Um, but then again, if it is a team policy that's been broken, why are you suspending him for a year? Maybe fine him.
Facts.
Maybe have him sit out for a quarter of the season, but a full year, that's a
A
bit
full
much
year, and then
for
not even just a full year, but they also said they're going to reevaluate the situation after the year is over. So this could go on longer, and he can possibly be fired for this.
exactly.
So
And
you know what I'm
and I
saying? Yeah,
want to I want to make sure that I say that I can't condone him cheating. Now, a lot of
none of that.
people, some dudes listen to this would probably be like, "Yo, you a simp." I don't care. Whatever relationship you get into, and the rules have been set for that relationship, or the understandings have been set for that relationship, you got to follow those guidelines. And
Facts.
obviously, the relationship with him and Nia Long was not polygamous because she said she was
Nope.
blindsided by this whole thing.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, he's wrong in that instance. But
Very much so.
in the whole grand scheme of when this story is broken, I think the Celtics, as Stephen A. has mentioned, the Celtics kind of handled this wrong.
I believe so too.
Because again, he shouldn't be. I don't think he should be suspended for a full year. If you're gonna do that, just fire him. Just let
True.
him go.
Just let him go.
Yeah,
Just
because
release him.
a full year of all of this media circuit, this media hype and hoopla and drama of trying to figure out what actually happened, because that's what's going on right now. People are trying to figure out what actually has
Hmm.
gone on with Ime and whoever else
Right.
for this type of punishment. If you watch some of the interviews, especially the press conference that the owner and the president of basketball operations, the owner being Wick Grossberg, is that Grossbeck?
Grossberg, Grossbeck, Grossbeck.
Grossbeck, and then
Hmm.
Brad Stevenson,
Hmm.
or Stevens,
Stevens.
who who was the head coach for the Celtics, but now he's the president of basketball operations. They had a press conference, and Grossbeck says, "I hope this represents the beginning of a new chapter and a chance to turn the page and move forward with things to some extent resolved."
Hmm.
How are you going to move forward and have stuff resolved when you have the person, both parties that were involved in this still work for the organization? One person is not suspended, the other person is suspended for a year. What?
How you go? You can't resolve anything. You can't resolve.
No.
There's no way you can turn a new chapter and resolve anything when you got both people still working for the company.
Still working for the company,
There's no
and
way you can do
then
that.
the public doesn't know exactly who the other person is.
So how
So
you gonna
then
resolve anything?
how are you going to resolve anything? But then also Brad Stevens says that he's mad that Twitter got into the,
Hmm.
I forgot the exact phrase that he
He said
said.
the Twitter speculation and rampant bullshit. That's what
There
he
you
said.
go. But
Hmm.
that's what Twitter does.
Yeah,
That's what
of
the
course,
internet does. The internet, as we all know, is undefeated. You
undefeated,
know, you
undefeated.
have the world's best detectives that don't work for the FBI a part of the Twitter sphere. You have
Facts.
the world's best
That's a
comedians
fact.
that don't stand on stage a part of the Twitter sphere. You have some of the
Hmm.
smartest people a part of the Twitter sphere, the Twitterverse, Twitter sphere. So
Whatever the hell it's called. Yeah.
naturally this is gonna happen.
Hmm.
Uh, but not to go on too long, man. It's been a whirlwind
But
and a
but see
lot of
now it's crazy.
uncertainty.
Yeah, but it's crazy because they both got up on that stage in that press conference and said all of these things, and just like you alluded to earlier, what Stephen A said was it's because all of this happened because they handled it so poorly.
Right,
They released all of this information so poorly that gave Twitter and Instagram and all social media the ammunition they needed to speculate and
right,
create all of these different stories about different people or these different women who were supposed to be involved in this thing with Udoka.
right. But let me ask you
So
this:
what up?
if I'm a part of your business, Sticks,
Hmm.
I'm your top employee other than myself. So let's say I'm your vice president of sales.
Hmm.
Okay, my top salespeople make more money than me, but I handle all of their egos and teach them and make sure that they're right. They do what they need to do on a daily basis.
Hmm.
I get caught up with another employee having a relationship with another employee in another department.
Hmm.
Okay, you find out about that. It's not it's I broken both of us have broken the policy
Hmm.
of no fraternizing with the internals.
Fraternization, yeah, internal
Right,
fraternization, yeah,
right.
facts. Okay.
None of that. Supposedly that's the only thing I did. Do you think it calls for a investigation
No,
from an outside firm?
what I would do, not at all. See
That's
that's what
what's so weird
that's
about
what's
it.
so weird about it because it had to be something bigger than just them fucking. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It had to be, and it had to be somebody in a higher seat than what they're making people speculate. From what I think, because
Mm-hmm.
they came out with a couple of names. You know what I'm saying? And they said it was the vice president's wife. You know what I'm saying? They said it was her. They said it was Kathleen Lynch. That's the vice
Mm-hmm.
president's wife. Which, if it's her, then I guess they gotta look into it a little bit further because the vice president. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But then they said, excuse me. But then they were talking about the young lady. What's her name? I can't come up with her name right now. Allison Feaster. Alison Feaster, who was the president of player personnel, and
Mm-hmm.
she's been with the team for 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the player development and organizational growth. That's what she does.
And this is all
But
speculations of who it could be.
who it could have been. So Feaster,
Okay.
Alison Feaster was the one. That's the name that came out first because she's a pretty woman. She's a beautiful woman. She's in the organization. She used to hoop. She's got that personality that people think Udoka might be interested in. Right? She's a
Mm-hmm.
black woman. Right? But then
Okay.
they came out and said it was Miss Lynch, which is a white woman, but
Right.
the vice president's wife. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a couple of videos, a couple of things that were going around after they won the Eastern Conference Finals, and he said something or tried to grab at Miss Lynch in the going towards the locker room, and
Mm-hmm.
so it was some other stuff. So that's where they got the speculation from with Miss Lynch. But man, I mean, it's all because of the organization coming out with this information. Very, very, they went about it the wrong way, dog.
Yeah, I think they're
The
trying to
wrong way.
be too tight-lipped about it rather than just being
Hmm.
upfront and
Just being
transparent
upfront,
about
yeah,
right
yeah.
about what's going on. But another thing that makes it weird is Matt Barnes. So this is not
Hmm.
speculation. It's just fact. Matt
Hmm.
Barnes posted something in defense of Ime Udoka, saying that he shouldn't be suspended for a year and as long. But then, um, subsequently, he took that post down and then replaced
Hmm.
it with the situation is 100 times uglier than he thought.
Hmm.
So, like, it's just stuff like that makes it hard for what the owner wants.
Hmm.
Is it for it to like basically blow over and like they can move forward with things like this continually coming out. I think it just makes it way hard for that to actually happen. And as
Facts.
long as Ime is a part of the team but suspended, um, you already know every time the Celtics play on national TV, that's going to come up.
Hmm.
Ime Udoka, the head coach of the Boston Celtics, is unfortunately not with the team and is being replaced by who's the coach name? The
I,
assistant coach.
yeah, the
Yeah,
assistant coach. Yeah.
every time that's going to be like the headline. It makes it tough for that situation to begin the healing process for Boston, the
Right.
Celtics organization to begin that healing process, like the owner wishes it will or hopes that it will. I just
Hmm.
don't think it's going to happen. And now you mentioned some of the speculatory the speculations of who it could be. Again, I didn't
Hmm.
want to do that because I do think it is irresponsible to
Hmm.
mention those individuals and we don't truly know.
Yeah,
Just
I understand.
and just speak facts right now. But I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
eh, it's still the as is. We're gonna say he is suspended for consensual relationship,
Hmm.
but I would say you need to. It still needs to be continued to be dug into to figure out what actually is going on or has gone on in Boston. And yeah,
I mean, it's a hard thing to say because, like I said, we don't have all the information. And no disrespect to the women, Miss Lynch, Miss Feaster, no disrespect. I would just add it into the information because that's what we have to go off of. And no
right,
disrespect to them, So I know it's kind of irresponsible to put their names in it, but it's Boston's fault that their names are in it in the first place. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
for sure.
But I mean, it's one of those things where you kind of got to compare. So just in comparison, and I know this is one of the other topics that we were thinking about talking about as well, was the whole thing with Robert Sarver, where he got
Yep.
suspended for the exact same amount of time
Hmm.
for what I think is a worse offense.
Well, he got suspended by the NBA too, and
True,
Udoka was suspended by the team. The NBA
by the
did not
team,
even want to get involved in it,
hmm
so
which makes it even crazier because you
makes it
got
worse.
Mr. Sarver who's making misogynistic and racist comments.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Which I think is worse. Well, maybe I don't know. It's to me the misogyny and the racist comments that he's making to his organization, to his staff, and to the people around him, and trying to pass it off as him just mimicking what his black counterparts are saying.
Right.
Eh, I think that is worse than a consensual relationship.
Well, it's also because he's the owner.
That too,
So
true.
he's the head over the whole organization.
Hmm.
Whereas I know head coaches and NBA players seem like they are at the top of the food chain in organizations with the basketball organizations. In
Right.
reality, they're not. They're like they're the highest paid by far,
by
but
far.
other than the owner, but
Hmm.
they sit off by themselves, and
Hmm.
everybody else is a part of the organization. So to me, that's why it's still weird. And you hear the analysts say stuff like this goes on all the time. It's
Right.
just
And
brushed under
it's
the
the
rug.
same thing
It's
that what's the name said too. Same thing
right.
that yeah.
And I'm not saying it's right, but is definitely, I feel like, and I'm sure you feel the same way, it's something deeper than just a consensual relationship.
It's gotta
that
be. It's
that
gotta
they
be.
they don't want to, either one, they don't want to hurt Udoka's reputation, they don't want to
Hmm.
hurt Boston's reputation,
Hmm.
or the 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 woman in charge, or maybe women in charge or involved, not in charge, don't want to sully their names or get their name dragged through the mud because of
But
this.
that's not fair though. That's not fair though, because you
This
dragging Udoka's name and you're not saying anything about this young lady that's involved. That's not fair.
right,
Period. They both broke this same exact rule.
right,
So in order for us, the public and the media, to not speculate and put other women's names out there, just say who she is.
right.
Because
Or
that's
just just let all the details go. If it's not,
right.
if it was not a consensual relationship, because this is another thing that continues to make it a little bit muddy, is it went from it was a consensual relationship to he was making comments, unwanted comments.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that part too.
Which one, and to me, if it's unwanted comments, again, if it was just unwanted comments, women are not going to like this, but he shouldn't be suspended for a year,
I agree.
half
I
the
agree.
season, maybe a quarter
I
of the
agree.
season, but not the full year. If it's something further along the lines, then
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
fire him.
fire him. Fire
Don't,
him.
yeah,
But see,
don't
but
have
see
it
that, that,
be
that
a whole year.
but see that goes back to the Sarver thing though, because those unwanted misogynistic and racist comments that he was making deemed him a year.
Right,
So I guess going back to that, if he was making unwanted comments and having a relationship, whether consensual or not, I
right,
guess with that, with the NBA giving Sarver that 1 year suspension, they kind of had to match that
yeah,
with the comments alone. So it's like, but just fire buddy. Just fire him.
right,
Let him
right,
go, bro.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Because this right here is going to ruin his whole career. Because now, with y'all muddying the waters by giving some information, just pieces of this and pieces of that, it's going to ruin his career now. Because ain't no other team going to want to touch Udoka, because they
hmm,
don't want to have that in their organization, and that possibly happened to another team as well, like him.
right,
You see what I'm saying? So they just need to come out with all the information, let the people know exactly what's really, really going on, and then just leave it at that and handle it behind the scenes. But you got a whole nother investigative crew coming in, and a law firm, independent law firm coming in doing what's really good, bro. What's really going
yeah.
on?
A
Because
whole
it seemed like a
invest
lot.
Yeah, a whole investigative crew coming in, and then the owner, after the findings from that investigation, said that it was determined by him as well as that investigative crew that the appropriate punishment should be the punishment that was passed down,
That was passed down.
and Udoka agreed to it. So
Mm-hmm.
again, to me, all of those facts laid out on the table, you're telling me it was a consensual relationship, but what actually, if you dig into the read between the lines, is something else is going on.
It's got to be, bro. It's got to be something else going on, and hopefully they come out with whatever investigations that they did and whatever information that they have. They come out with it soon, so people can stop speculating and actually say what's the truth
Right,
and actually
right.
report the truth. Because right now it's muddy. It's muddy as
M-
hell, bro.
Muddy as I don't know what. And
Muddy as I
again,
don't know what, bro.
if they think they can keep him suspended and not release any more information than what the owner wants, for that new chapter to be turned and moved on, people are going to
Hmm.
continue to go back to that chapter because what they just read is not clear.
It's not clear at all. They're gonna have to
Yeah,
go back. Okay, now I can compare this to this. Okay, this is what
right,
really happened. Okay, so that was false. Okay, bro,
right,
they got to just come out with the info, come out with the facts, and just let everybody go about their business.
right, right. Yeah. So only time will tell. Hopefully, sooner than later, they come out with everything and let that process do what it needs to do and move forward.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So we move on to the next topic, and this was a this topic, man.
This was deep,
It's
bro.
something that we decided to talk about late in the week, but John Wall opens up about struggling with thoughts of leaving this earth.
Self
Um,
deletion.
yep, in the last 3 years. So what we know about this is John Wall wrote a letter in the Players Tribune, which is a blog and a magazine that actual players, can interact with their fans by giving putting letters out or doing videos and stuff like that, of letting people know what their true feelings and what their true thoughts are. And John Wall wrote a letter to the Players Tribune, and he talks about all the things that he dealt with in the last couple of years with his injury, with his injuries, and losing his mom and his grandmother. So, what we know about this is he wrote a personal, heartfelt letter to the Players Tribune. He talks about how he started out, his life was beginning to look great. He was recalling the time where he's been in the league in a while. He's been in the league for a while. He had a chance to get his mom out of the Section 8, get her into a house. Um, Life was good. He was playing well, signed a new contract extension. He was supposed to be with the Washington Wizards for a long time. And then everything turned dark and gloomy towards Achilles. Almost had to have his foot amputated, which is why he hadn't played in 2 years. In the midst of having all of the troubles with his Achilles, he then lost his mother, or his mother was battling cancer. She was on chemo. She had a stroke. He lost her. And then a year later, lost his grandmother. In that time, when he was alone with his thoughts, he thought about
Self
losing his
deletion.
life.
Self
Yeah,
deletion. Yeah.
losing his life. So yeah, I know we both lost somebody significant in our last couple years, Sticks. But how did this story make you feel, man?
Man, so just to start off, man, mental health within men
Mm-hmm.
is not reported enough. And that's mainly because society views man as you got to be strong, suck it up. You fall down, you get back up, brush it off, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? We're meant, we in society, we're meant to harbor feelings in opposed to talking about our emotions, which
Mm-hmm.
is very damaging to to men all across the world, man. So
Mm-hmm.
I commend John Wall for just saying those words. Yo, I need some fucking help. He said those 6 words changed his life.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So I commend him for just standing up and saying, you know what, I can't do all this by myself. I
Yep.
can't keep these feelings inside. I can't keep putting on a mask in front of my boys, and whenever they leave, I'm wanting to leave this earth.
Yep.
So I commend him for just getting up and calling his boy like, yo, I need some help, bro. Like I
Mm-hmm.
gotta go see a therapist. I gotta talk to somebody. I commend him for that. So men, if any men that are watching this, if you are going through some things, man, talk to somebody. Reach out to your closest homeboy, your brother, your family, your whoever that you feel like will give you the best advice. Even have them help you, seek a therapist if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
But don't harbor those feelings, because if you're having those thoughts, you definitely need to get some help. So just start off by
Mm-hmm.
saying that. But the way it made me feel was I felt every sentence that John Wall was saying, man, because I've battled some depression. I can't say I've been depressed, but I've been in some spots in my life where I was like, yo, like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like, why can't I get right? Where am I going in life? Why am I not where I need to be? Things of that nature. So it's like, and just like you mentioned, man, I lost my mom when I was 12. She got HIV when I was 8. And I was watching her over those 4 years just deteriorate, bro. And it was hard. I went from having a mother that was, very supportive. She was absent at times, but very supportive, to me being a 9, 10, 11, 12-year old, literally taking care of my mother, helping
Mm-hmm.
her eat, helping her take her medicine, helping her bathe. Seeing her in that vulnerable position was tough, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And when she passed, when I was 12, I had thoughts of like, yo, I miss my mom, bro. I want to be with my mom. I had those thoughts. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
go follow through with anything and actually try, but I was like, yo, like, my mom's not here no more. Like, why? I want to be with her. I had those thoughts too, but of course, I didn't go through with any of that. I'm here today, but
Right. And we're glad you're
I
here,
went
bro.
on for sure, for sure. I appreciate that. But
Yeah.
I went through life and through high school, met my brother, my co-host here, and I got these friends around me and this support system around me where they kept me grounded and they kept me lively, and they gave me that positive reinforcement that I needed, and I kept those guys around me between D'Lo and our boy Marcus, who was supposed to be we're not gonna get into that, but our boy
Yeah, don't
Marcus,
get
they
into
kept me,
that.
they
You
kept
messed
they
up a
kept
good
me
moment
grounded.
right there, man.
Nah,
Dang.
facts. Nah, we good. We good. We good. They kept me grounded and they kept me lively and they kept that positive reinforcement in my life, man. And I appreciate my two brothers for that.
Yeah.
But in the last 5 years, I lost my other major woman in my life was my grandmother, who literally took care of me from 2 years old up until was that 5 years ago, so 32. And then my uncle died a year after that, and I think Unc dying was, what I'm saying, shit, he wanted to be with Mom Dukes. Like, what I'm saying? He was grieving a lot because after Granny died, he was grieving a lot.
Hmm.
So he passed away, which was really my only father figure in my life, my whole life was my Uncle G, my Uncle Greg. God rest his
Hmm.
soul. All of y'all love y'all. So I had some it's been some times, bro, where you get those special people in your life, along with things that happen in your own personal life. It's like John Wall was on top of the world, just forced Game 7 against Boston in
Hmm.
2017, and he was on top of the world. In the next game, he tears his Achilles. Now the one thing that's his sanctuary, which is basketball, is now taken away from him. So he's dealing with the injuries and dealing with his mom battling cancer, and within that whole thing, everything just kind of crumbles beneath him, man. And it's like I understand why he had those feelings, man. 100%.
Yeah.
Because I've been through a lot of that. I've been through a lot of that in my life, so I understand
Yeah.
why. I
Yep.
didn't personally seek help, which I probably should, or I should have, or actually should, just to kind of get some things off my chest, man. But man, reading this really put a lot of things in perspective for me, for sure.
Yeah. And again, we're glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I love you, bro. You know that.
Love you too, bro.
And
Love you too, man.
I feel like this article was well written. It was you could tell. So sometimes articles are written, they're written by a person, but you can tell like somebody else wrote that for them. But
Hmm.
this article, you could tell it was written by John Wall.
It was
And everything that he said, he meant, and
100%.
everything that he wrote came from his heart.
Hmm.
And as you mentioned, he lost. He was on top of the world. I mentioned it, but you reiterated he was on top of the world, and then the next minute he's going through hell.
Hmm.
And we've all lost people. Most of us have lost significant others that were our stability. And as soon as you lose stability, I don't care who you are, I don't care how much money you have, I don't care how much fame you have, your sanity is gonna go,
Right.
because it makes you question, what are you really here for? And him losing his mother, who he said was his best friend, who he said he called 6 times to 7 times a day. I
Hmm.
mean, it makes me feel bad because I know for sure I don't call my mom 6 or 7 times a day. Shit, I barely call her 6 or 7 times a week, if we being honest.
If we being honest, yeah, facts,
but
yeah.
but so that to me tells me, yeah, she was a true friend to him.
Hmm.
Um, but to lose her, on top of not being able to play, those are two things that can make anybody go crazy. And in the article, he says, I know it sounds crazy. Everybody's like, yo, you are
You,
a millionaire
yeah,
and you talking about you depressed. Again,
bro.
it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter how much fame you have. You lose the stability and you will lose your sanity. I
Hmm.
mean, we hear it all the time. The richest and most famous people in the world are the most unhappy people in the world.
Bro, look at Robin Williams, bro.
Yes,
He was the he was he perceived he showed himself to be the happiest man in the world. He was the most one of the most amazing artists and actors I've ever seen in my life.
for
And he
sure.
took his life because he was unhappy. And he
Right.
had all of the same things that John Wall had, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Every people loved him. He had all the money in the world. But when you in that dark place, bro, it don't matter.
It
It
doesn't
don't
matter.
matter. You need to seek help. It don't matter if you in that. If you have, you can have all the friends and family and riches around you, bro. But if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
like D'Lo said, if you ain't got stability, you're gonna lose your sanity. That boy,
Right.
that was a. I ain't gonna lie, that was a bar. I ain't gonna lie, that was a
Hey,
bar, but that
you
was a
know,
bar. I ain't gonna
you
hold
know,
you. That was a bar. You feel me?
I spit them out every once in a while. You
A
know what
little,
I'm
you
talking
know,
about?
say a little something,
Yeah,
son. You feel
yeah.
me? But yeah,
But
but man,
so
it's crazy. Yeah.
we can't. I don't know anybody personally that has gone through this, or has taken the full execution of what John Wall was talking about.
Hmm.
Gladly, I don't, because I think that would really affect me. Um,
Facts.
but we can kind of see glimpses of it in one person that I'm sure everybody that listens to this knows. Now, he loves himself so much that I don't think he will ever do it,
I think I know
but
exactly who you're talking about.
but Kanye West.
Yes. Yes.
Kanye West is
Yes.
a perfect example of this, what John Wall's talking about, but
Hmm.
he hasn't actually done it. If you watched his documentary on Netflix called Genius,
Hmm.
when he was with his mom, his mom was here, he was a completely different person. Still a genius, and
Still a
he still
genius.
is a genius. He still is a
Hmm.
genius now, but he was a completely different person. Lost his mom, his rock, who she was very intellectual.
Legit. Hmm.
She was like, she kept him, she let him be who he was, but she also gave him that aspect of groundedness and you know
Humility.
yeah, she pumped it into him, so
Hmm.
she kept him level headed.
Right.
And then he lost her, he lost himself basically. I mean, he's trying to come back a little bit. And I'm not judging Kanye.
Right.
I love Kanye. After watching that documentary, I'm like, okay, I can understand where he's at right now. But
Hmm.
he lost her, he lost himself. And again, that stability is a key element in our life. A lot of people don't understand how much stability is for the soul and how much
Right,
it
man.
is a part of who we are as humans. Because um dang, I forgot the law now. Maslow's law
Maslow's law. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
says, you have to have the basics before you can move on to the next level. And the
Hmm.
basics are food, shelter, sex, and it's a fourth one. I can't remember the fourth one, but you have to have those basics. I'll look it up. You have to have those basics before you can move on. That's the foundation of life. If you don't have that, you can't do anything else. And so for John Wall, he loses his foundation and everything else crumbles.
For sure, for sure. And like you said, man, so he lost his mom. He went along with his career. He ends up losing his wife and technically losing his kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's now you see him all over social media and all over the internet fighting for his kids and making these TikToks and these going on live. And man, this is like you can see you can visually see the mental health
Mm-hmm.
crumbling below Kanye at some points. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He's kind of getting it back now, you know what I'm saying? Getting back in tune with his kids, getting back in tune with Kim, you know what I'm saying? And having his own brand now, you know, as you said, Sway had the answers back in the day. So now he's kind of getting back to himself, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? But mental health is everywhere, man. And this article about John Wall really opened my eyes to a lot of things, man. And it was this article was deep, bro.
It
Article
was
was
deep.
deep, man. It was
And,
deep. It
yep,
was
it
deep.
was deep. And ironically, this month is National Suicide Prevention Month.
Prevention month.
So
Mhm.
another reason why that article hit home was because of that. We've seen a lot of that lately, um, with the CEO or the CFO of a company taking his.
Mhm.
We're not saying the word before certain reasons, but
Just say self deletion,
yeah,
self
self
deleting.
deletion. Yeah, it's self
Hmm.
deleting.
The
And we're
young
not
lady that won Miss Universe,
Miss
you know, what
America,
was that?
Miss. Yep,
Miss America.
yep.
Was that a year? That was almost a year ago now. She
Nah, was it? No,
how
that was
long?
like earlier this year, wasn't it? No, I think you're right. Actually, I think you're right. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, mental health is definitely a key aspect in our life right now. take care of your mental.
Hmm.
Don't burn yourself out. I mean, it's easier said than done, but please make sure you're taking care of your mental. Make sure you have good people around you. I always
Yeah.
say a person with good relationships of different types can endure quite a bit. So if you have good parents or a
Hmm.
good motherly or fatherly figure, good siblings or people that you consider to be your siblings. So
Hmm.
like me and Sticks consider to be each other's brothers,
Hmm.
good friends, and maybe even throw a therapist in there. You can endure
Hmm.
quite a bit because and these people can't be yes men. Just
Facts.
so they can't
Facts.
be yes men, but they have to be somebody that you can talk to. You respect their perspective. You understand that the things that they're saying to you don't come from a place of malice.
Hmm.
If you have that, you can endure quite a bit. But if you don't have that, if you think you can do everything by yourself, as John Wall mentioned in his, and that's why I
Hmm.
felt it so much, is
Yeah.
he mentioned in his article that he grew up out the mud. He was taught to not to ask for anything and figure things out himself. I didn't come out the mud, but I had a fairly decent upbringing, but I was taught to figure things out myself. I don't need to ask anybody for help. So I internalized a lot of things, but I've never
Yeah.
had any thoughts of self deletion.
I'm the same way.
Luckily, I have figured out most things that I need to figure out by myself. But then, as of lately, I've also figured out how to ask for help here and there.
Hmm.
But yeah, if you
Yeah,
have
man.
those four things, honestly, a good parently figure, siblings or friends, and maybe even a therapist, if you believe you need help, you can
Hmm.
endure quite a bit. And that foundational level for Maslow's hierarchy theory is air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. So
Hmm.
John Wall's shelter, which he felt like was his mother, and this is this actual shelter, the house that you are, or the thing that keeps you from the elements, is
Hmm.
what Maslow's talking about. But you know, psychologically, your shelter could be somebody that, as he mentioned in his article, keeps you grounded, and that
Yeah.
was his mother and his
That was his
grandmother.
mother. That was his
So
rock, man. That was his rock.
yeah.
But it's also good to see John Wall getting back, man. He just did a pickup some pickup runs with PG with Paul George,
Hmm.
and he screamed out, "I'm back!" But it wasn't like I'm back as far as basketball. I'm back to myself again,
Right.
and that's what made me feel good. Just watching him working out and watching him hoop and getting back to being the John Wall that shit. I met John Wall in person. He
Hmm.
came to Central a couple of times because he's real good friends with Coach Moten. So I met
Okay.
John Wall in person, and he's a good dude, man. So I'm really happy to see him getting back to himself and getting back on the court and not having to amputate his foot and fighting back off that infection and getting back off that Achilles injury and hopefully getting back to himself, man. Because he's gonna be with the Clippers this year,
Mm.
so it's gonna be ugly if him, PG, and the Claw get right. And
Yeah.
come on, bro. The Clippers gonna
Yeah.
be scary, man. They got a big three. If John Wall can get back to Wizards John Wall, they got a big three, man. They
Oof,
got a
that
big
is
three for
scary
sure.
because he was him and yeah, that's scary. But yeah,
It's
I'll
gonna be
finish. I'll
scary, man.
finish out the whole thing by saying, make sure Sticks talked about mental health. Make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Calling in every individual. I'll reiterate that.
Hmm.
Let's go back. Calling individuals that just checking up on people, make sure they're good. I'll reiterate that. Make sure that
Hmm.
you're calling those people that you love on an ongoing basis. If you think they're battling with anything, even if you don't think they're battling anything, um, and the ones that you probably need to call the most are the ones that you think have it all together, because they more
Hmm.
than likely don't.
Yeah, that's very true.
So make sure that you just calling the people that you love on a continuous basis, checking on them, having those open conversations, allowing them to be vulnerable, and vice versa, them allowing you to be vulnerable, because you can't always be the ear that people, the shoulder that people lean on when they having
Hmm.
issues. You also have to have a shoulder to lean on,
Right, right.
and then also give the honest feedback to them, even if it's an unpopular opinion.
Hmm.
Have those conversations. Don't try to be an asshole about it.
Right.
Don't try to be an asshole about every
Be tactful.
situation.
Be tactful in what you say for sure.
Right. Be tactful in what you're trying to say. But yeah, I just think this whole article with John Wall was, for me, well needed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad he was able to open up and get that off of his chest. You can definitely see some growth in John Wall. I just hope he ain't gonna be in LA throwing up them gang signs.
Nah, I hope not. I hope he just out there flexing, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Getting
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You feel me? I hope he
yeah,
just do that. He don't need
yeah,
to do
yeah.
nothing else.
Nah,
You know what
don't
I'm saying?
nah, don't throw them hands. Don't throw them
Don't throw
hands
them
up
hands up,
because them
my boy.
boys in
Don't throw
LA
them
do
hands up.
not play.
They don't play about that. But just
Yeah.
to kind of reiterate a little bit of what Lo was saying, man, just giving people an ear to listen to, because it's a saying that I live by a lot, and I've learned to do a lot more in my life, is that you've given two ears and one mouth for a reason, so you can listen twice as much as you talk. So
Hmm.
sometimes people just need to vent. You know what I'm saying? So give them that opportunity to do that. You know what I'm saying? So listen twice as more than you talk, so that way people can get things off their chest and make yourself a good person to speak to and give them positive feedback. That's all you need to do,
Yeah.
for sure.
And then so we move on to another basketball story. Um, a good story as well. Steph Curry signs a lifetime or will sign a lifetime contract with Under Armour, which is
Hmm.
said to be worth $1 billion.
A Billy, a whole with a B, a
With a B,
Billy,
not a million, not a million, a billion. A lifetime contract
a
for $1 billion.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Facts.
So Sticks, let's talk about the ins and outs of this story.
So
So
go ahead.
yeah, so Steph Curry is going to be the third athlete to sign a lifetime contract worth $1 billion. Now there are other athletes that have signed lifetime contracts with brands, but they haven't been worth $1 billion.
Hmm.
Those other athletes include our boy LeBron James,
LeBron
Nike.
James. Hmm.
Okay. The other athlete is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Hmm.
Both athletes have been with Nike. Actually, yeah, both athletes have been with Nike. Another notable person to sign a lifetime contract is Michael Jordan.
Hmm.
Now, Michael Jordan's contract was not worth $1 billion, but his brand makes him $100 million a year.
Facts.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That is
So
crazy.
it wasn't worth $1 billion, but he basically will make $1 billion in 10 years off of his
Mhm.
deal with Nike and it being a subsidiary brand of Nike, which
But
is
how
also.
long? How long has he had his lifetime contract as of now? Do you know?
Well, that's a good question. I know he originally signed his contract with Nike in 1984 for
Hmm.
it was going to give him $500,000 a year.
Okay.
And that was just off of the speculation that his shoes the first year would make 300 million. His shoes the first year made 147 million, 120, somewhere between 120 million to 140 million in the first year, which
Hmm.
prompted Nike to go back and re-up the contract. I can't remember all the logistics about when he signed that lifetime contract, but I know he signed a lifetime contract with Nike. Just wasn't worth $1 billion.
This wasn't worth the billion. I got you.
Okay. But in Steph's contract, he also will have a subsidiary brand underneath Under Armour, much like Michael Jordan. And
Hmm.
I did not know this, which is why we can get into this as we go on with this segment,
Hmm.
much like LeBron too. So I didn't know LeBron was.
LeBron, yeah.
I
Hmm.
thought it was just he just signed a lifetime contract, and they continue to put out his signature shoe. But I from reading about Steph, I found out that LeBron also has his subsidiary like Jumpman.
Hmm.
He
Yep.
has the King. Is it? Yeah, Bron,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
King
The
name.
King.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so now Steph will have the Curry brand.
The Curry brand with UA. Yep.
Right. So Sticks, knowing all that, reading all of that, what do you feel about Steph and this lifetime contract with Under Armour?
I feel like it's dope. That so um, as of right now, his contract is worth $160 million.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he had already signed it, but looking into it, he will eventually sign. They're finalizing the deal for
Right.
a whole billion, which they say some reports say it's going to be worth more than $1 billion, but
Mm-hmm.
a billion is a billion to me. You know what I'm saying?
What?
But
If he lived,
but his,
if he lived to 100, He's what, 34 right now?
34 right now. Yep.
So I did it as if he was 38. So, but anyway, if he lived to be 100, he
Hmm.
getting $16 million a year
A year.
just off of shoes.
You know what's crazy? His deal as of right now nets him 20 million.
That's
So if he
crazy.
lives to be 100, he's going to be making only $4 million less than his annual deal now to live until he passes away.
Crazy.
Crazy.
His
It's
grandkids,
crazy.
grandkids, grandkids are set.
100% set, bro. But it's like, okay, but so he signed his initial deal in 2013 with them, and his
Hmm.
first signature shoe didn't drop in 2015. The Curry one dropped in 2015. Now, I don't know anybody who wears Under Armour basketball shoes
Bro,
myself.
we were about to go the same play. Okay, let's go there. Let's go there,
Listen,
Six.
I don't know anybody who wears. Now, you know what's crazy? There was one Curry that I was about to buy, and I ended up buying some Jordans of anyway. But I was
Yep.
like, yo, the Curry 4 was low key dope. The
Yeah.
Curry 4 was fire, but I'm like, it's not Nike, it's not Jordan. I'm a sneakerhead
Yeah.
myself. If anybody didn't know, I'm a sneakerhead myself. So I had the Currys in my hand, the Curry 4s, and I
Hmm.
was like, and I also had some J's in my hand. I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and put these back. I love you, Curry. I know you from the
Yeah.
crib, but I got to get these J's, bro. I don't know anybody who wears them. Do you know anybody who wears some
No,
Currys?
and no, but see, this is why I'm sitting here thinking that Under Armour is treating or is thinking of Steph Curry as if he is Michael Jordan. Again, we love Steph Curry.
100%.
He's from North Carolina. Well, he was born in Akron, but he grew up in North
North
Carolina.
Carolina. Yep.
So we love Steph Curry. I love his game.
Hmm. I
I
played
hate.
against him in college.
Okay, so you played against him. Yeah, I
I
hate.
love him.
I hate comparisons in general as far as basketball is concerned or football, whatever the case may be.
Hmm.
But Under Armour is looking at Steph as if he is Michael Jordan. When I and Under Armour is probably in the same position as Nike was when they signed MJ.
That's a good perspective to have. I agree with that. I agree
But
with that.
I don't think. Okay, my immediate thought about Under Armour is it's a good move for Steph. He's the
Hmm.
best thing that happened to Under Armour.
Hmm.
But will Under Armour be there his whole
For his
lifetime?
lifetime, right? Right. And we
Right.
talked about that earlier in the week. Yeah, facts.
But then, and I'm like you, no. To answer your question, no, I don't really know anybody that wears
Hmm.
Under Armour basketball shoes. I know a lot of people
Hmm.
that wear Under Armour cross trainers
Like
and running
like
shoes and stuff like that.
and even like the dry fits and
Right.
the compression shirts and short and pants and
Well,
stuff like that.
Nike
Yeah, I
stole
know
that
that.
from Under
They
Armour.
did. And you know
If we
what's
being
crazy? I
honest,
haven't worn any Under Armour compression gear since
since
Nike came
Nike,
with it.
exactly.
None of it.
So
I get all Nike now.
yeah, so no, I don't know anybody that wears Under Armour basketball shoes,
Hmm.
but we do know that all these young kids in the AAU circuits that's trying to be like Steph Curry, what are they
Man,
wearing?
talk about it. Talk
They
about it.
wearing they're wearing Steph Curry shoes,
They're wearing
and
Steph shoes.
all of these brands are moving away from our generation and older,
Hmm.
and trying to usher in or indoctrinate the younger generation because
Hmm.
they're thinking 20 years into the future. We're thinking right now,
Right.
and so if the young people are wearing Steph Curry's now, they continue to design the shoe or improve the design of the shoes.
Hmm.
20 years, Under Armour maybe Nike. So,
But see, that's the thing. But the just thinking about that, because most times whenever it gets to be a brand, right?
yep,
Just like your Nikes, with your LeBrons, which LeBron is kind of tailed off of what I'm about to say, but like with your J's, Jordans have historically been a fashion statement.
yes, I was going to
You
go
see what
there
I'm
too.
saying?
I'm glad you
It's,
said it.
it's, it's historically been a fashion statement, and I haven't seen. There's only been a couple of LeBrons that were like fashion statements that were really popular that you can wear with fits and stuff like that. There's only been a
Yep,
couple of those.
yep.
Jordans up until shit. Let me see. The 14s was really the last one. It's a couple more after that. But like 1 through 14 were all dope as hell. You can wear with fits,
They in your
right?
catalog right now.
They in
Not in
my they in my
mine.
closet. They in my closet right now.
Yeah, I only wear Jordan
Most of
ones,
those
but
are in my closet right now.
yeah,
But bro, like 1 through 14 were a fashion statement. Then maybe you can say the 17s and then the 20s, but they kind of got ugly after the 14s.
right.
But bro, like I haven't seen not one Under Armour shoe that I would put on if I'm not working out.
And that's the thing about this deal as well, is that they also included in the deal not only the basketball clothing and the shoes. He also has a Curry brand for golf and casual wear, which I
100%,
don't.
yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. I don't think there will ever be another Jordan sneaker or line of shoes that we'll ever see in our lifetime. You
Never.
got Tinker Hatfield, who was a genius in
Genius.
creating these shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there will ever be a person to come along. I'm sure there will be, but it won't be in our lifetime.
Nah. Nah. I
You
don't
know what
I
I
don't
mean?
I don't think I don't think I don't think we'll see that with Curry.
Yeah,
Cuz I don't there number one there would never be another Tinker Hatfield like you said. And number two, I don't see Under Armour having that creative ability to create something that's a fashion statement.
right.
Cuz
Yeah,
like I said, I only do you remember what the Curry 4 looked like?
I
The
don't.
Curry 4 was actually kind of dope. The Curry 4 was actually kind of dope, but I was like, would I much rather have these Jordan 6s that I have in my hand? Or would I much rather, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't
But
like
I'll also say this though, Sticks, is not only not only will there
that was the
never.
Curry 4,
You
right?
like that shoe?
That was the only one I liked.
I mean,
It was the
I
only
don't
one I
like Under
liked.
Armour. I don't like Under
True.
Armour.
True. True.
Period.
True. 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 True.
But anyway, the the what was it? You made me lose my train of thought now. Oh, no, no,
My
no.
fault.
So not only do people buy Jordans,
Mm-hmm.
and not only does Nike pump a lot of money into Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
they pump money into old ass shoes that people still buy.
Nigga, bro. Bro.
So listen, it's not even that Jordan is making money off of his new shoes. He's
He's
making
making
money off of shoes that was
the
created
retros,
originally in what, 20 years ago,
bro.
25 years ago,
The Jordan 1
30 years ago.
came out in 86. The Jordan 1 came out in 86, bro. That is what?
30 years ago, 18, 28,
Bro,
20 some years ago. No,
86, bro.
I'm
No,
wrong. I'm
that's
wrong. That
older
was
than that. That's 30
that's
years ago.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah, my
36 years ago. That's
math is all
36 years
messed up.
ago, man. Bro. That shoe came out in 36 years ago, and he's still making money off of the Jordan 1, the bread Jordan 1, the Chicago Jordan 1, all the ones that he actually wore in 86. He's still
Yes,
making money off them in 2022.
right.
They're still
So
selling.
so I'm gonna say this. I
There's
think
never going to be another
if
Jordan brand.
it's never gonna be
Ever.
another Jordan brand, but I think if Steph Curry can keep his grip on the younger generation, they'll be in that nostalgic state like we are now with Jordan
Mm.
brand, and it's gonna be a great deal
That's
for Under Armour.
tough, bro.
I think this is a great deal for Steph Curry and his family, because regardless, once he puts his name on that piece of paper, Under Armour got to cut him that check.
16 mil a year.
But is Under Armour going to struggle to cut him that check? Is the question that we're asking right now.
True. True. They might. I mean, I don't think so, because I think Under Armour is still a good brand, and there's a lot of colleges that are sponsored by Under Armour. Um, People still wear Under Armour as
Yeah,
far
that
as
means
like
Under Armour has to
compression.
pay those companies, those colleges, not that the college pays them.
True. True. I think
It's
they still make money off product though. I think they do. I mean,
put it.
I don't personally buy it anymore. Me
Hmm.
personally, I don't personally buy Under Armour anymore. I haven't had Under Armour in years, bro.
Hmm.
I haven't had, I don't think I've bought anything Under Armour compression since college. And that
I've
was a little bit
never.
before. That was a little bit before. I think Nike actually had compression at that time.
They
So I
did.
don't even think I bought it in college. I think it was high school last time I bought some compression
Bro,
Some Under Armour
I've
information.
never in my life worn Under
On
Armour. And there's no knock to Under Armour.
yeah,
Under
yeah,
Armour.
yeah.
There's no knock to them. I've never wore Under Armour. Again, it's a great deal for Steph.
It is.
I'm
It is a
I'm
great different stuff.
I'm happy for Steph. I
Are they
think
gonna struggle though? Are they gonna
I
struggle to
think
pay him?
Under Armour may struggle because I'll tell you this. I looked at the top selling shoe brands for 2022, and then I went and looked at just top shoe brands in general. And
Mhm.
it's Nike by
A landslide.
a long shot. For this year, Under Armour is the ninth best selling shoe
Ninth.
brand, ninth out of the top 10, ninth. So top top selling shoe brands for this year are Nike number one,
Of course,
again by a long shot.
by a landslide.
Number two is Adidas.
Hmm.
Number three, what do you think number three is?
New Balance.
Jordan,
Oh, Jordan. Oh my God.
which is under
Which is
Nike.
under Nike, right?
Number eight is Puma,
Number 8 is Puma. Okay,
and
where's New Balance in that?
that's another thing.
You would
Is
know what New
Puma's
Balance was in that?
New Balance was six.
6. Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause New Balance is getting a lot of New Balance runners, and their casual shoes are really booming right now. But their
yeah.
basketball brand is getting big too. So,
Okay.
hmm
Okay, yeah. And then Under Armour was ninth.
was
Now,
ninth under Puma.
under Puma,
Sheesh.
exactly. But you gotta think Puma is like
Damn.
a lifestyle brand too, though, because
It
Puma makes
is.
them. So you that's funny that you mentioned Jordan being that casual shoe, that status, that style shoe. That's
Hmm.
what Puma is becoming with the insertion of Jay-Z being in. Oh, I don't know if he's still there, but I know he was at the
Hmm.
top of their brand and
J.
bringing in all
Cole.
of these. J. Cole was a yeah, he brought in J. Cole and all that. So
Hmm.
Puma is being what Adidas was 2-3 years ago, pulling all these
Facts.
stars, but now it's
Hmm.
Puma.
Yeah,
So
I agree. I agree.
again, Steph is the best thing to happen to Under Armour. He kept them
Hmm.
afloat for a long time. It's a
It's
great
been
deal
nine,
from him,
almost 10 years now that he's been with Under Armour. Yeah.
right? So it's a great deal for him and his
Hmm.
family. They have nothing to worry about for the rest of their life when he signs his contract. He can
Nothing.
stop playing basketball today, and
He good
and
until he passes
unt-
away.
until his whole
Dying
family is
day.
wiped out, they are good.
They are amazing.
You know what I'm
They
saying?
are
So
amazing.
I just I hope for Under Armour that the kids now that are on these AAU circuits, and when they grow to have their families, they take on the role that we take now with Jordan.
Hmm.
That they got lines out the building to pick up some retro Curries, which I don't think is going to happen. But
Retro Curry's is crazy. I ain't gonna lie.
to think about.
Retro Curry's is crazy, bro. I have never. What would a retro?
Exactly, Sticks.
What
That's
would
what
a
I'm
retro
saying to you.
Curry look like? What is a retro Curry colorway, bro? What is that?
That's what
Like
I'm trying to tell you.
there is
It's
no
a
way it
great
is.
deal for Steph.
It is definitely a great
He
deal for
needs
Steph.
to he don't need to prolong this deal whatsoever. As soon as they draw that paperwork up, he needs to leave San Francisco or Charlotte, North Carolina, and go to the headquarters of goddamn Under Armour and sign that thing immediately. Matter of
Sign
fact,
it
fax
immediately.
that thing to me
We
right
can,
now.
nigga, we can e-sign. We can do
Yeah.
e-documents, my nigga. Like, so I
Yes.
just want to point and click. We can do
Yeah,
e-docs.
just give it to
Bro,
me
what?
right away,
Give
bro.
it to me right
I'll sign
away.
this immediately because as soon as he signed that, he ain't worrying about nothing. I don't care
Nothing
what y'all
else.
talking about. Oh, y'all folding? Okay, my check still need to come in.
I still need to get that check. I got a
Yeah,
lifetime contract, my boy. But I mean,
right.
I just calculated something too. Like you said, if he lives to 100, that's what, another 64 years. I
Yeah.
just calculated up until 86,
Mm-hmm.
and that's 19.2 million a year
Yeah,
if he
yeah,
lives
yeah.
52 more years.
Yeah, so I really don't know how that deal is
Crazy,
structured, because obviously the longer he lives, the shorter the amount, and the shorter I mean, the lower the amount is, and the shorter he lives, the longer, the bigger the
bro,
contract is per year. So I don't know how that deal is actually structured, but
bro.
regardless, he gonna have more than
Regardless,
5 million a year coming in from.
regardless, like you said, if he lives to 100, which is, I hope he
He
do.
lived a great life.
If he lives to 100, he's still getting 16 million. There's no way in his lifetime he will go below $10 million
Right,
a year.
right,
So he's set for life, bro. He's
and
set
and
literally.
and if he does what Jordan does, Jordan did. He's making $100 million a year and owning a basketball team.
You know what I'm saying? And he should. He probably will get into that once his career is over. But
Oh my God!
yo, congrats to Steph Curry for
Congrats, bro.
getting Under Armour to give him that $1 billion, man. Well,
Congrats. Let me hold
eventually
a
give him
dollar.
that $1 billion. But
Yeah,
what, $1? Man, that
yeah,
man he can let you hold at least a stack. Boy, give me a
yeah,
stack. I
man.
need a
Yeah,
stack, man.
for
That's
sure.
pocket money for you. You can reach in your pocket. Oh damn, I got 1,000. Here you go.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, yeah.
Here you
Go
go.
feed your
I heard
family.
you. I heard you on the podcast. Here you
Yeah.
go.
You know what I'm saying? Dang, go,
Hopefully we
man.
get to that point. But
Shit. I
but
mean,
yeah,
shoot.
man,
Honestly, he could give me he can give me a year's salary, and he's still good.
he's still good. He's still
Shit,
good. You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Bless
You
him.
can just pay me, my boy.
Yeah,
But
bless
nah, the
him.
only
Bless
the
him.
only Curry that I ever thought about getting was the Curry 4, and I still decided to get a pair of J's.
You know what I'm saying?
So I
But
was
hey,
like, but it's I like the Curry 4. I saw it on
yeah.
2K. I was like, oh, that's kind of dope. Let me see if I can find it in real life. I was like,
Nah.
I'll get the J. Bring these up, please. Thank you. I
Yeah,
appreciate
nah, yeah,
it.
but nah. Again, in all seriousness, we
Yeah,
joked about it, but congrats, Steph. That's a big
congrats.
accomplishment in your lifetime to have a $1 billion contract, and a lifetime contract at that
Hmm.
with a company, to have your own line like a Michael Jordan, to be in the same
That's
breath
fire.
as Michael Jordan is dope, bro.
It's
So
super dope
congratulations to that. Um, and hopefully you have the success that Michael Jordan himself has had with his shoes, with
for
his
sure.
brand, and you
It's
pump that money back into your family and into the community.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
But
Yeah,
that's
man.
it, man. That's a wrap for episode 4 of
Ford, we a month
Pardon
in this
My
thing, man.
Wisdom. Pardon
We
My
a month
Wisdom.
in this
Yeah, a
thing,
month
man.
in. So wrap for episode 4. Hope you guys have been enjoying what we have to say about the various topics that we've been talking about. We have been getting some great feedback on
We have.
our podcast, and we appreciate all those that listen and those individuals that will listen in the future. With that being said, Sticks, as always, bro, I'm gonna finish it with I appreciate you. I love you. Um,
Always, man. Love you too, boy.
glad to be doing this with you, and interested to see what the journey continues to be for us. Holla at you,
We
my
out,
man.
man. All right. Peace.
Yep.